today at the races, whew, Sunday, interesting day that we had, or fun day that we had yesterday. A couple prices, a couple of great races there, Keith. But we've got a nice track going on today. The track is fast and the turf is firm.
Yeah, track, both courses playing fair in my opinion, and some really quality racing yesterday. Absolutely, we're going to show some highlights later in the show to end it. But again, another challenging card on tap to end our weekend. 10 races, turf, dirt, you name it, long, short, 2-year-olds, a plethora of options for everybody. The betting should be fast and furious. Looking forward to it. Another good wagering card in tap.
Of course, 12% low takeout in that early pick 5 that we offer here in Maryland. And what a sequence to start it off with in this maiden special weight. 7 furlongs here for the girls, 3, 4, and 5. Keith, you and I both land on the number 3. Be Inspired. Morning line 4 to 5. Right now 4 to 5 as of this moment. Brittany Russell and Sheldon Russell, who both clinched 2 wins yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to kick off the card like yesterday. Dan Illman with a 10-1 shot to get it done, right? So that was really, really good. But Be Inspired, going to take plenty of play here from the barn of Brittany Russell by Munnings. Always get you a good runner. Out of a mare who won her first 2, topped it in 88, stakes place. Interesting enough, though, the 3 siblings never tried the dirt, if I looked at everything correctly. So this is a little interesting move. Those 3 starters, 1 debut winner, 1 ran third, but I'm looking forward to steady workouts here. Brittany struck with 2 firsters to get the job done on Friday. Rolls right along, and at the 7/8 distance, she's been fine with these first-time starters. So won't be much of a price. She's going to have to be tied on. I think Diamond Sue is the horse I'm going to look for value in my exactas. Really, after hopping at the break at Timonium, had no chance, couldn't run into that speed, but a very good, encouraging try. 2 races back, that was second off of a lengthy break. Moving into Overwish, couldn't quite go with that, Brittany Russell, but kept on well to be second. I like that one, 3-1 to kind of ramp things up for our value in the exactas. You're looking at the 6-horse Hollywood Land. Jimmy Toner, Forrest Boyce, back to the dirt. Been going long on the turf. This is going to be first time blinkers on the dirt. Has a couple good dirt tries. I like that effort. Sprinting in debut. And then at the 1-turn mile, a good effort there with a 65 buyer. That would probably win this race. Latest Sriracha, third start out here. Ran well, a little improvement second out. That was a quick pace she chased. Had to alter course slightly mid-stretch up there at Parks. Didn't quite kick on, but you look at the mare. Did very well, 7/8 and a mile.
Absolutely. 3-1, 6-4, nice price value underneath for Keith Fusel and his exacta as we go on to race number 2 starts. Not your early pick 4, just because of the sequence, but early pick 3.
Early
there
pick
we go.
3. Man, we've been just putting me up against the ropes and giving me a pounding with these early pick 4s of late. But you know what?
You can pick the later sequences if you want
listen,
to.
I tried early. I looked late. I looked middle. I looked everywhere. And if I'm playing a ticket, I'm going to have to go grab a friend. It's going to be a little costly. But we've got some value here, I think, in this early pick 3 starting in race number 2. Obviously, those rolling pick 3s we have at Laurel Park. But 1, 5, 7, 8, 9. Watch Super E, who I dropped off the ticket, jump up and beat me, Hammy, and Forrest Boyce. But we're going to spread around in there with those 5. 3 deep in race number 3 with the 1, 6, and 7. Your value coming from the 6 Union Fleet for trainer Jose Magana. Wrap it up in race 4. 4, 6, and 13. Bantour, 10-1 morning line. Same day as LJ, 15-1 morning line. There's your favorite, Pops Harper. Sandwich in the middle, those 2 at 6-5 morning line. Just make sure you know, drawing in Northern Cardinal, the 14. Wouldn't be one I'd completely dismiss in there. We'll just bump that ticket up, and the 15 Sin Permiso. They do get in race number 4.
7-5-1-8. Starting off here, race number 2 and claiming 20,000 for the 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 3, going a mile and 16th on the turf. Scratches in the 4, 6, 13, 15, 16 to 14. Elda Larry does draw in. Keith, you have the number 7 on top. And Master of None here in the barn of Sergio Padrenas. Georgie Ruiz gets the call.
We're reaching here. I mean, you look at this race, wide open, as we've got multiple races that are spread races, in my opinion, on this Sunday card. So why not? Master of None, not really mastered the turf so far, 0 for 5. But it's got a top of a 76. You go back about 5 races on the page. In a state-bred, state-sired allowance, first level. Vaccination, Crabs, and Beer. Riccio only gets beaten 3. The horses like that are not in this field. The tell to me, Ruiz. You're going to give me a shot at that kind of number with a very, very good turf rider, I'll take the shot at a 12-1 morning line. I think this horse has positional speed against this group. Not a whole lot of proven early flow. I think B Major is going to carry them quite a while, maybe sitting just off of Flash's back, but I think the road's going to go through the 9 top of the stretch, but at that shorter price, I'll dismiss that one today. Good Night Nile. I like the fact that Tori Alba stays. I've been chasing this runner from Milan Milosevic. Just kind of has that grinding style.
Yeah.
He never quite kicks it in. He showed a little flash back early in his career. Maybe this blinker on move will wake him up, enhance the run in the 1. Northern TikTok video spotlight animal, your top selection. Kerry Bryant trying to pick things up, only 2 for 44 the last 45 days with the turf runners. But I thought going back to June 23rd, this is a very good race. The blinkers going back on today. The only wins have been with blinkers. Altering course in the Yellow Silks and mid-stretch to finish up well, only beating a length and some change to Mission Man. Gets to save ground every step of the way. This horse has enough positional speed to lay close and bring a finish. Was caught wide last time at Colonial. That influenced the flattening late. 7-5-1-8. Let's take some prices here in race number 2.
Race number 3 is a starter optional 30,000 going 7 furlongs on the dirt here for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratching one of the coupled entrants, 1A, Don't Wait Up, the 3 and the 4. Keith, you and I both go with the number 7. Let's go ahead and take a look back at that last effort in that win from Monday Morning QB. Kieran McGee, Tori Alba.
Yeah, the old back class. He was back and back with a vengeance against this starter group. This is a little bit better group that he's going to face today. But you go back on the page and look at some of the runners he's run against. Man, he was tied on this afternoon. First off the claim for Kieran, prompts the pace, is going to pounce here at the 7/8 of a mile and wins going away by 4.5. And the sprightly 123-1. Look at this, confidently handled in the lane by Tori Alba. At no point did this guy look like a loser. Little fear of a slight little bounce. He's going to have to bring something close to that back. And I think he's going to have to deal with My Last Mission, who looks like the speed to go ahead and go in here. Back in the Woods is quick. Will he be able to kind of sit there and sustain again? Kieran, though, the last 3 years, I got a little stat here, stuff blowing all over the place, Cal.
It's
9 for 25, 36%, second off the claim following a win. 3 for the last 3, I believe, with the sprinters. Yeah, these two, My Last Mission, Monday morning quarterback. I think they're going to emerge top of the stretch. Don't think Union Fleet on the drop. Toledo stays as well. Second off of a break, can't make a run. Has some gaudy races over this track. Gets back to the track that he wants to be. And I think he fires late. 7-6-1-5.
They're in race number 3. Race number 4, we go back to the turf here in a maiden claiming 20,000 going 5.5. Second wire finish for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. 1 scratches in the 1, 3, 9, 10, 11, 16. The 13, the 14, and the 15 draw in. Keith, I looked at your picks earlier when you sent them in, and I cannot wait for you to dig into your picks. Top selection, same day as LJ. Tim Vick, Joe Schneider. First time turf try here, even just amongst this is the only runner out of the dam, but interesting pick here. Yeah.
I had some Pacificos last night.
Okay.
I didn't have many, but I had a few. Maybe I'm a little foggy this morning.
Hey,
but you know what?
That's not the magic sauce.
By Wigilia, get you any kind of runner. Okay with the sprints, 10% turf sprints. Bottom side, Nick and Nora. But I like, there's family, turf in this family. Go back deep. I'm reaching a little bit, but again, I wish the 14 didn't get in because Northern Cardinals got some speed, and I was looking at the same day as LJ as a speed. But you know what? He made a little sneaky middle move in debut. He's got positional speed. I think he'll get in here if Northern Cardinal goes ahead and goes. Yeah, but my man Tim Vick, he can sneak away and get you one at a price. 6-5, even money on Pops Harper. Yeah, I think I'm going to use the horse. It comes off of a race with some trouble, turning back in distance, only beaten a couple by Beltane, Cap, and Dusty. Came back to win next out. Yes, he's run against the right kind. Maybe he's the horse to beat. He'll rally into it and probably beat me. I got to look for some value. Northern Cardinal as well. I think this horse drawing in has speed to go. And Bantor, I think you can depend on this one to bring a finish. 10-1 morning line. I think you're going to get something like that. The 2-back try was good enough. Closing in, moves outside from that spot, back to the inside. So again, ad nauseum, I'm inside out on the turf. That's how I want my riders to ride this turf course, any turf course, especially in these sprints. A 13-6, 4-14.
There we go. Race number 4. Race number 5 starts that Rainbow Pick 6. Let's just take a quick peek at my ticket before we move on. $14.40 ticket. I could have gone so much more expensive on this ticket, Keith. I had to, it was either go, 6 wide on a couple of these legs or just whittle it down to 2. So I gave you El Cheapo $14.40. Feel free to double down. As you mentioned, Keith, split with a friend there. Starts in this maiden special weight, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the 2-year-olds. Scratching the 3 Decorum. Keith, you have the number 9 on top. Same true here for Robbie Bales. First time starter for Robbie Bales. Javian Toledo gets the call.
Yeah, some interesting firsters to look at in this race. Some horses with some somewhat established form. Not really. I mean, you got Night Preacher, I think, is the speed. Race probably goes through him off of that race at Timonium, the half mile. Good effort there. But Robbie's horse, and Robbie's had a couple firsters run really big of late over the last couple months. And I'm just looking at his Golden Lad, okay, bottom side, Serenity Hill. Makes this one a half to Princess Kokachin, who could run a little bit, right, for Rob. So look at the workout pattern. It's good to me. The 2-back is the wake-up call, 5/8, a minute, flat, breezing, 1 of 12, extremely quick comparatively when looking at the rest of the horses that day. This mare has had 3 starters, a win, a second, and a third. I like this little bit of an outside draw, a little late. You got Toledo. Doesn't ride Toledo a lot. A little bit of a story maybe for Robbie. I'll take the shot here with Say Me True.
I like that. I like that a lot. Number 7, Built by Kozan, a second-time starter for Hugh McMahon with Gina Vello taking the call again.
Well, you're going to catch a couple of these horses that got little preps at the Big T, right? This horse a little rating hold inside, going a half, shifted out. Sneaky little gallop out, winning family. It's a win early family. I think you're looking at a horse at a number. I know finished behind Night Preacher, but I think he's going to close into that one today and maybe go on by. Casey and Pap, love the effort last time, getting better in every start. The most experienced runner in this field with 3 starts. Needed another jump or 2 at the Big T, but again, was held up a little bit far turn, stayed inside, was not intimidated, and came right on through late to nearly get it done. I think this runner is going to have some speed to target, bringing a finish here for Ham Smith and Bonicelli Racing. The 4 Moonlit Frost. Damon's got 2 firsters in here. Talking to him, maybe a little bit of a lean to the 4, and maybe rightly so when you're looking topside frosted, hits 14% with the first-time starters. Mare 1 debut. Multiple winning sibs, 3 debut winners. There's a lot of win early there to like at a 15-1 morning line with his main man, Horacio Caramanos. Lots of ways to go, 9-7-2-4.
Yeah, Caramanos having 2 wins yesterday, going to help out there. Sorry, Keith, 9-2-7, 9-7-2-4 there. Race number 5, we will be right back after this commercial for the rest of Sunday's card. Welcome back here. A proper jackpot super high 5 in this race number 6. A mile on the turf and a starter optional claiming 20,000 scratches in the 3, 9, 10, 14, 15, and 16. The 13 does run. Keith, you go with the number 6 on top. And Street Copper looking for a comeback here with Mike Trombetta, Horacio Caramanos. You've got a nice little special Keith Fusel stat for us.
Yeah, Trombetta last 3 years on the turf. 6 for 28, 21%. 10 for 28 in the money. Third off of this type of layoff, 180 to 365. ROI, 486. That's strong. Street Copper, outside post positions the last 2 off the break. Grounded out last time at Colonial. Moves a little bit further inside. I think he's got some speed to target. Covered up trip is going to work. Right kind of rider in Caramanos. The flow's going to be okay. Dark and Fitzy, Von Hoff, Wish Me Home. We're going to look at the video. Let's go right to it for the 8-horse Wish Me Home. I think is going to be favored in here for Brittany Russell. These 2 might be very close when it's all said and done. But Wish Me Home, this one, I thought had a kind of a tough trip into the first turn last time. Had to battle through an okay quarter. 23-3 there in between horses. Has shown the ability to sit a little bit further back, a couple lengths back. So if horses like Dark and Fitzy and Von Hoff get a little eager, I think especially at this 1 mile distance, and this horse is holding pretty good form, is going to be able to make a move into it. This particular day was able to kind of clear that early challenge, rate, and hold sway late at 1 1/16. Just fine at the mile distance as well, certainly against this group. Probably the horse to beat, I think, again. Might be the horse to get past that final eighth of a mile. Samoy Sunset, yeah, been a long time, been a while since November. Another one of these hurdles to the flats. Yep. But I see Forest Boyce, Mark Beecher. This horse is capable, has some very good races over this surface, has run against the right kind and came very close to Wish Me Home on the go back. Just sits inside. You know the trip you're going to get. It's going to be an inside-out move with Forest, enough flow. This horse can bring a finish.
And 6-8-4-1 there for race number 6 for Keith Fustel. Let's go ahead to race number 7. Back on the dirt and a starter optional. This time for $20,000, going a mile on the dirt for the girls 3 and up. You go with the number 5 in Coal Mine, our 8-5 favorite. Let's take a look at that effort of that last win for Troy Singh. Thais Pustina looking for win number 3 in a row.
A little canary in a coal mine, right? Okay, Coal Mine in very, very good form here for Samraj Singh. Stepping it up. This is the toughest group, but I just like the positional speed and the stamina and everything she's showing through the last 3/16 of a mile in her races. I don't think things are going to be terribly demanding up front. Just the way that she's going, I think she can pop and maybe get the jump on horses like Isabella's Glory. She's a Rolling Stone, interesting, goes to nest. You could see a rapid improvement here. 4th beaten 14 with a 48 buyer. I don't know if you're going to see that today. I think she's going to jump back up into the picture, can sit positionally and move in. But Coal Mine, looking at the flow, I think she's got to be forward. But I like the way Laia Pastina has gotten along with this runner up front to nurse and then release from the top of the stretch.
Isabella's Glory underneath with a Darwin Rodriguez 7-pound bug on top.
Yeah, getting in light, absolutely, at 116, the 7-pound, a little apprentice allowance. But the 2-back try at the mile is what kind of catches my eye. Caught Ginger Girl at a tough time. Ginger Girl in very good form. Closed into that one, has that grinding style, and got kind of a setup, but sustained that one trip at Timoni. It was good. That sets her up beautifully to lay close enough. And if there's any kind of battle going on, she's going to bring the finish here for Corrales.
5-2-4-6 there in race number 7. Let's get back to the turf for race number 8 in maiden special weight here. Going short, second wire finish at 5.5 for the 2-year-olds. Scratch in the 5 and MTO Wicked Divine. You have the number 8 on top in Stormy Flight. Let's go ahead to that video. Hammy Smith, Victor Carrasco. We're going to go back to that first and only dirt start here at Laurel.
It's a really tough race here. This race is, I was all over the map. But, I thought this horse ran okay. Flashed a little foot to stay close enough, kind of rated back off of rivals heading to the half right here. It's surrounded in between. And, it can definitely make a 2-year-old a little bit skittish. And I thought he handled it okay. Makes a run, threatening run. A loom to me into the stretch, calling this chart. Just a touch of flatten the last, I'd say 8th, 16th of a mile. Given a little freshening there from that June 23rd effort, comes back. Now we're going to go to the turf. Dirt to turf, not a terrible move for this barn with the maidens. Top side gets Stormy, plenty of turf. Not a smooth bottom side, but there's some turf there in that family. That was a triple key race that it comes out of. I think a couple horses might come back and run okay on the turf. So I'll take a shot with Stormy Flight to sit because I think Correlation is going to be zipping out of there, and I think Summer in the Country is going to show that foot. I think this horse will be able to drop in and make a run with Carrasco at a square number, 6-1 morning line.
Absolutely. First-time starter with Mark Salvaggio in the Warden. Julio Hernandez on the outside. Some flashy works leading up into this.
Yeah, not a whole lot to go off of for War of Will, but by War front, so definitely could get done. Full of zip bottom side. One debut sprinting on the turf here at Laurel as a 2-year-old. Lone Sib to race, 0 for 3 on the grass, but the works are very good. Again, I went to do some comparison, and I think this horse keyed up with an Aaron McClellan horse that came down here and had a lot of trouble, took some play, but ran well and was in range of that one. So there's enough turf pedigree there. Salvaggio doesn't want to waste the trip. I think he means business here, and we've got Julio Hernandez to ride the 9, the Warden.
Cinetic underneath for Antonio Machado. Jamie Rodriguez gets the call, and the number 6 honors due John Salzman Sr. with Christian Maldonado, 5-pound weight off.
Yeah, it's 6-horse honors due, 23-1 in debut. Between horses drop back. They wanted the turf. They get it today. yeah, you're going to get a big number, but there's a slew of turf bottom side on this runner.
Okay, race number 9, as Keith Usel goes 8.936, is an allowance optional, claiming 62.5, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the 2-year-old fillies. No scratches here, Keith. You go with the number 8 on top, Enchanito.
Yeah.
Chantico for Shug McGahee Forest Boys.
Yeah, this was visually fairly strong. Field okay, broke well, relaxed, and then when Bravo said go, he gave was put her in a pretty good ride there to 3/8, but went on the attack 3 deep, kicked away, and just relaxed home the last 16th of a mile. 63 buyer works here against this group. She better have her running shoes on, because I think there's some horses in here that got a little bit of talent. Safe Trust has never run bad. Had some trouble down at Colonial second off a break off of that stakes race. Malibu Hooch, very, very fast. Didn't miss a beat at Timonium. Slight hop and just quickly burst away and widen. Really under not much asking, just a steady hand ride there at the Big T. So you look at the breeding. Bourbon Courage out of Sunday in Malibu makes it a full to the Maryland Juvenile filly winner Malibu Moonshine, who won her first 3 starts. There's even some distance within this family, so the stretch out should not be a problem whatsoever. If she clears to the turn, she could be very, very dangerous controlling things up front. Let's go to a video spotlight of the 9. You Make Me Charlie. I thought this was pretty good. You got this long stretch you got to deal with, but a little trouble here right there on the turn. You see in the red cap down on the rail, a 5-horse that particular day, as a clear leader is there. This horse makes another move. Was rating early, steady, and he gets after this filly. And you're thinking maybe she's going to flatten out. No. Works outside and just steadily makes this progression. Gets it done. Goes clear by a length and change. Stays off that outside challenge from a BTR first or Brittany Russell first. So this is a good effort visual, and I think she's going to get the flow up front. Yeah, look at this. Confidently handle 8, holding firm. Right back at you for Trombetta. I'm going to use You Make Me Charlie.
This is underrated. A nice group, a nice bunch of fillies here for this allowance optional. I could have gone 6 wide on this leg. So 8-10-9-1, Keith, as we go ahead to race number 10 to wrap things up here on the turf in a maiden claiming 45. A mile here for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. You go with the number 7, Cocktails at noon. What a lovely concept on a Sunday afternoon. Let's take a look at that first effort for Brittany Russell with Sheldon.
Cocktails at any time.
That's my motto. That's a great name of a horse.
Yeah, I like it. But coming out of this debut race, Cocktails at noon, the son of violence at a Morning Star. It gets a little trouble here going to the first turn. We're going to see this up in between horses. A little sandwich is going to go on. That 13 drifts in, tightens up a couple horses, a little bounce around. And, really wasn't completely phased by that. I like the way this horse kind of recovered. Toledo says, you know what, we're just going to settle, and then we're going to try to make this run the last 5/16 of a mile. Works outward here about 4 or 5 wide. Never saved ground, any step of the way. So any bit of ground saving is going to make things look a little bit better this afternoon. Cleaner trip, too. You want to avoid that trouble early. But I like the way this filly, I should say. No, this guy. What am I saying? This guy finished up to grab the show. But this is another race. I mean, there's not much splitting this horses. I thought Hallelujah Harris ran real big off the claim, bumped up to 40 behind kind of a key horse, Union Bulldog, who you see kind of smattered around in some of these PPs. Inside, had to wait when that favorite, the 2 to 5 was Union Bulldog that they got the jump on him. This guy shifted out, back in, very game. Look at that jockey-trainer combo, 42% for Blake Kelly and Danny Centano. 7-1-5-4. Chevy Man, first time gelding off the break, 2 back without the blinkers. Better effort. Blinkers last time, a little keyed up into that slower flow, just kind of fizzled. I think this horse will be back for Sibeli and Stolen the Wold. Again, a little bit of a wide trip. Needs to save a little ground for Carrie Bryant. I think this guy will make a run into it, especially at the 1 mile distance. 7-1-5-4 to wrap it up. Highly, highly competitive fields. Love the cards at this racing office. It's work.
That was good.
From a betting standpoint, though, you really got to like it.
Absolutely. No, I 100% agree with you. Speaking of which, let's go to your value play. First one in race number 2. Also starts your only pick 3 in Master of None. 12-1 in the number 7. Sergio Pardones gets Georgie Ruiz in the saddle.
A couple races back on the turf. Yes, he hasn't won, but the number's there and a tell with Ruiz.
Let's also talk about your second value play of the day here in race number 8 on the number 8 at 8-1. If that's any sign for anybody, any numerologists out there. Stormy Flight, Hammy Smith, Victor Carrasco.
Yeah, I think a little bit of suspect speed. Touch of trouble in debut, but the willingness to mid-stretch before flattening, getting to the turf. This move is sneaky good with Hammy, with the maidens. I think there's enough speed to set things up, and there's enough breeding on the bottom side. Even top side. Get Stormy. You like that? I think this horse can make a run into it. Maybe not to win, but don't leave this horse out of your exactas, tries, and supers.
What competitive fields that we have here today. But let's talk about the competition yesterday. Let's go to the All Along. Let's start off with the All Along, a really talented group of horses going ahead. Graham Motion with No Show Sammy Joe in that effort last time out.
What's that, 4 straight, I believe, for No Show Sammy Joe. And a beautiful, beautiful trip. Was able to save ground. Worked the seam top of the stretch and got through and surged to command. Held firm late under a solid hand ride. Tom McBlond got a little stymied there from the 3/8 to the quarter. I still don't think she was going to beat No Show Sammy Joe yesterday.
Let's talk about Loon Cry in the Sensible Lady Turf Dash. That was a nice way that race played out, but a nice win for Michael Sanchez with Christophe Clement, who was 0 for 5 with him on the turf as of late.
The higher price of the Clements in there, right?
Yes.
Had Love Appeals. I was a little suspect of the field that she beat up at Woodbine. She's won 2 straight up there. She shifted out here and just blew their doors off past the 8th pole. They looked like they were tied to a tree. Strong run at a better price of 1080 for Clement.
And, of course, we have to talk about a possible prep in the Polynesian for post time there. Nice to see him come back and really just kind of get a mental setup here in Maryland.
Yeah, a little step slow out of the gate. Quickly kind of moved up into a good spot, saving ground into the turn east out.
Gave Ellen Charles a heart attack with that one.
Yeah, especially how about the bridge jumpers? You see that happen. But kind of worked in between horses when Sheldon said go, top of the stretch. Was able to kind of separate. I tell you what, he kept him very, very busy till about the 16th pole and then cruised home from there. Buyer of a 93. That's your preliminary buyer for post time.
Very excited to see what's coming forth with that crew. Keith, thank you so much for joining us here on the morning show throughout the weekend. And we're going to wrap it up here. We're going to head over to Dave Rodman for any more potential changes and scratches. Thank you guys very much.
All right. Good luck, everybody.